got the only standing ovation of the night, and that's Mr. Colton Buckley here. He is a high school, are you a rising senior?
Yes, ma'am.
Rising senior, and I'm going to let him tell you what he's involved in, but he's very involved in bringing high school students into action in the Republican Party, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Colton Buckley.
Thank you for allowing me to speak this morning. What an honor it is as a teenager to stand side by side with a great Texas State Senator and a United States Congressman. And I thank Ms. Jackson and Mr. Kerr, even though he tried to one-up me and take the fire of the belly there this morning and get everybody riled up. But really, this is quite an opportunity. As we know, most elected officials both in Austin and Washington, D.C. have been conjuring up legislative innovations to make sure we have a future. A lot of these plans haven't been pretty, others have merely kicked the can down the road. But what worries me the most is, I am the future. My generation is the future, and a lot of us just aren't ready. This country needs to kick up on educating its youth about our great nation. We need a future that is not only educated by our founding and Constitution, but is empowered by it. Because that's what it's going to take to bring prosperity back to our conservative principles. We must prepare the youth to understand these conservative principles, value our Constitution, and know what real sacrifice and patriotism is. Not just singing the national anthem at our local high school and college football game. It's going to take real sacrifice and patriotism to get what needs to be done for our conservative causes. But the future, this youth that's going to prepare with my generation to take over y'all, must be able to know and have the energy to fight and defend for it. This is America. This is the greatest country in the world, and we live in Texas, the best state that makes up this nation. And we must defend it, we must protect it, and we must fight for it at all costs. Earlier this week, we celebrated our independence and our thirst for freedom. We also remember those who have given it their all and more for the future prosperity of our country. We must also aid the youth in realizing that the young men and women in high school and college today will one day have to take that place on the foreign battlefield. And it will be those young individuals who are going to defend us. And we must promote those in our school that want to join the military, rather than people come in and say that's not a good choice. If my generation does not become more active, and if you, as the wiser generations, retreat or fail on aiding to engage us, we will face one of the most crucial points of our time. The point in American history where our kids and our grandkids will not understand what being an American or a proud American really means. I can tell you, though, that in Coryel County, we're fighting hard to energize our youth to become involved. We formed an outlet that allows teenagers, primarily in high school, to address their concerns and join the political process that makes this country purely remarkable. The Coryel County Rising Republican mission is simple: to advance our intellect and awareness of social and political issues of our time, to seek to diversify and broaden our own political spectrums, and to invoke and inspire social and political involvement and awareness among all members of the student body. It's the time of the young conservatives. It's time for the Republican kids of the proud Texas State Senate District 22 to take off the headphones, turn off MTV, get on our feet, and get involved. Conservative, patriotic youth, sadly, there really is no future at all. Now, President Obama did beat us with the youth back in 2008, but I can make sure, at least in Central Texas, that next year in 2012, that won't be the case. Because, see, the youth was Mr. Obama's voting mass, but Mr. Obama lied to us, or at least he lied to conservative kids like me. He told us we were going to get higher education at lower cost. We were going to live easy with this new health care. We were going to get better jobs, etc., etc., etc. You know, as Congressman Flores can say, Mr. President likes to joke that he's hip with the youth. But the President and I have absolutely nothing in common at all. Because the future of this country, of my country, is not based upon big government, it's based upon self-government. We're driving force for the Republican Party of Texas and our local counties to bring that prosperity that we hold dear in our conservative values. We will take back America. We must take back America so there will be a proud future of America. We will make the country prosper on the elephant banner and under the American flag. It's not because we want to, it's because we need to. It's essential. I'm not here alone. I'm not here just doing this because I like to stand up with all of you and talk. This is my future. The President's promised us these things, and the only change that he's really brought me is as a senior in high school, I'm not only worried about making straight A's this year, graduating and going to college. Now I'm worried about this $1 trillion debt that I'm going to have to pay for the rest of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, for Providence to survive, we must prepare and ready our youth now, so we will lead the way that our proud forefathers did when it's our time. What goes on in all levels of government affect us. What go on in all social and political institutions all across our country affect us. The kids currently in high school and college will one day be our city council members, commissioners, county judges, and even congressmen. That day is fast approaching. You know, I can't do this alone. I'm only 16. I'm not running for office yet, but there are many like me and my club secretary, Gavin Meeks, who are proudly running for the future of America. Because that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take to get back on our feet and retake this country. One day, sadly, all of you will be gone, and this country will be led by my generation. And not only am I scared at this fact because we're being taken away by the social media that the liberal left has taken and put in their toolbox, but it's the fact that we're not catching up to the pace. And that's why we need to inspire more young men and women like me to stand behind the podium, to work in our county offices, to bring back the true conservative values that made this country great. So I ask you today, please take the knowledge, experience, and passion that you learned throughout this seminar and share that with your kids, your grandkids, your nieces, your nephews, and the youth around you. And you yourself become empowered to retake the country and empower them to retake the country. Because after all, America is our country too. Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Colton Buckley, ladies and gentlemen.